I often ask myself, what could be my love language towards my siblings? However, I am always left thinking. This time around, I said to myself, I'd rather bake than buy. So hi everyone, you're welcome. In this video, I baked a cake for my younger sister and I equally iced and decorated it. Now, I would love to say this. Before now, this is something I would never sit or dream of doing. I'd rather just go and buy it and give it to her. But then the bakeries do not have the kind of flavors she likes, and being the kind of person I am, I hate to limit people on how to be creative, and this applies to bakers as well. If I should tell the baker to please bake this for me, I hate to be the one telling them to not include this, not include that. I feel it limits their creativity. Although most of them do not mind because they feel it's business, personally, I mind. So I said to myself, what am I going to give to my sister that will make her smile, that will make her something she least expects? And a cake came to my mind. Her birthday had passed, and for every year that she went to school, her birthday would meet her in school and not at home. Given the restrictions from the school to no icing, no birthday cakes with icing, I'd rather say none of this, I decided to do this on a regular visiting day. So my younger sister doesn't like a lot of things in cakes. As a matter of fact, she doesn't like too much sugar. Hence the reason why I decided to bake this myself. This was extremely difficult for me. However, I included a lot of sugar in the chocolate cake as per the regular measurements because her friends were going to have it as well. My sister doesn't enjoy fondant. She doesn't love cream in her cakes. She has a particular type of flavor that she likes in her cakes. Once she smells it, most times she doesn't feel as to eat the cake anymore. She's just not a sweet tooth junkie. So what is the better and easier way than to make or bake a cake for her? I'm saving this on YouTube as well, so whenever she comes home, she'll be able to watch this video and see how much I tried. But I'm going to share some of her expressions with you guys, not in videos, just by word of mouth. I have never seen her so dedicated to something like that. She was very careful as to not letting her cake fall, scatter, and all of that. Every single minute she held on to the cake so tight, as though, I do not know, but I felt good. I felt fulfilled. The question in mind is, what are you going to bake that she can eat? Bearing in mind that she has friends in school that she can share with, I went in with 3 flavors. Initially, I was just going to go in with a single flavor, but chocolate is something that I personally love in cake, so I felt most people who might participate in the cake tasting or eating would definitely love chocolate, and it is somewhat dense, so I said chocolate has to be on this menu. So if you've been watching carefully, I listed every single item I used on the screen. So you have the full measurement to this chocolate cake, and I equally dropped an extra tip. When it comes to the variety of cakes out there, I have not had a taste of most cakes. The most popular cake I've had is chocolate, vanilla as well. Those two are somewhat common. And every time I tend to order for a cake slice, I always emphasize on chocolate cake. I love the fact that it is sweet, and in most cases, when you get the taste of good quality chocolate cake, you therefore see art, you taste art, and you feel art in the cake because of how blended or finely blended the ingredients are. I do not know for a fact the particular flavor my sister loves or enjoys, but I do know that she's not a lover of sweet cakes, but she's going to appreciate this gesture. That made me comfortable and fulfilled because I felt no matter what I give to her, she's going to appreciate it, and that pushed me to offering my best. When I say bakers do their best, they do their best, because when it comes to this whole cake process and everything, I have personally decided to learn. because at this point, if you're not a baker, if it's not your hustle, if you're not passionate about it, you might find this as stress. But then I baked my cake and I let it sit overnight in a cling film. This is so that I could retain some of the moisture. As for the other flavors, cake flavors, they're already getting very hard. In fact, they were hard. I felt I had lost at some point because since they are hard, I'll definitely have to put cream in between. But I had to remind myself that my sister is not a cream person. So I made sure to bake the cakes with minimal sugar except for the chocolate cake, whose recipe is on the screen like I earlier mentioned. Now to ice this, I used 500 grams of icing sugar and 250 grams of Jadida butter. Well, margarine. This was not so difficult to go around except for the fact that I had initially wanted to use 1 kg of icing sugar and 500 grams of margarine. However, I spoke to someone and she's a baker. Shout out to Claudine's Cakes and Pastries. And then she said to me that the quantity is too much. So I had to stick with the 500 grams and the 250 grams. So when it comes to this cake icing, know for a fact that they have instructions behind. Initially, I had in mind to make a bento cake because I already had my baking sheets and all of that. I was just going to fit it in, put these cakes, proceed to do a thin layer of icing. But I had to change my mind because if I left the cakes at home, who was going to eat all of it? Nobody actually. So I decided to fit everything and use the crumbs of the cake as well. So this is our chocolate cake that we baked the previous day, and I'm just going to start with my icing. Into a bowl, after adding 250 grams of margarine, into that bowl I sifted 500 grams of icing sugar. You must always sift your icing sugar. This is something I learned as a child. Nobody had to teach me. There was a certain aunt next door who baked, and every time she baked I was interested because I knew she was going to share her cake crumbs with me. She said sifting is good so you get rid of lumps. That's just the simple reason that I do know of. So after mixing your margarine and icing sugar together, I added 1 tablespoon of milk. That is all. And to my board, I added some of my cream to it and then rolled it like that. Just opened it so that my cake can stick to the board perfectly. So if you're somebody who is trying to get into some experiment like this, just like me, then grab some few tips. If you're an advanced or pro baker who comes across this video, drop your tips in the comment section. I did not have baking tools, hence the reason why my cakes came out this way, and I do not have baking pans as well, so I used my regular soup bowl to bake. Now I have red velvet, vanilla and chocolate. My perfect flavor in all of this was the vanilla. I added some baking soda, and trust me, with buttermilk, that was very, very yummy. Also, you're just going to grab a knife and then try to trim your cake around. I asked my mother to help me at this point because it was nearly impossible for me to film and trim. So I am just going to transfer this to my board. I'm sorry I do not have the full video, but I think for a start I tried. And I'm going to cream. Now this top part, which is extremely high and all of that, I trimmed it at some point because it was extremely visible. So after covering my cake like this, the leftover icing sugar and margarine, I creamed it and then added pink color to it and applied on my cake. I went in with pink because it is a girly color and my sister is a girl. So I went in with the regular pink that most girls love because I do not know her favorite color. So I also went in with sticks, skewers, bamboo skewers, so my cake can stand straight and firm. It was actually trying to fall on the other side. So after adding everything, you can really see how light it is because you can see that it's not perfectly coated. So I proceeded to add the cake crumbs on top of it, underneath the bottom, and then I added some sprinkles, added some birthday toppers, and that is all of it. I'm so sorry, I'm almost out of breath because of how much I've spoken. I kept on wondering why my elder sister bought blue toppers, but at the end of the day, I had to appreciate it because the sprinkles had blue in them. So this was it. After sealing, I heard I sealed so tight and my cake had to bend visibly, but not everybody was going to see it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Do not forget to like, share, leave me some of your baking tips in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next video.